Coming up on this week's edition of Thunder Insider, the Thunder return home for 6 games straight. We examine the offensive emergence of Serge Ibaka and how the Thunder's defense has improved with each game.
We just got to make second and third efforts. And, in this league, it's 2 or 3 or 4 passes to a shot. We got to be on point for 24 seconds of defense.
And we'll show you how several of the players made a special visit to Tinker Air Force Base on Veterans Day.
It was hard work today. We really got into it, and it was just fun being here, especially today, I think.
It's all coming your way, starting right now on Thunder Insider. Welcome into another edition of Thunder Insider. I'm Leslie McCaslin, joined by Matt Pinto and Brian Davis. Guys, it's time to get comfortable. The Thunder are home for 6th game in a row. Their next road game isn't until December 3rd, so that means 2 weeks to get to sleep in their own beds, practice in their own facility. Beatty, what are the benefits of being home for this long so early in the year?
Full off-day practices are to coaching staffs like gold. Now, the good news for the Thunder is that in their first 4 home games, Oklahoma City came back trailing after 3 quarters and won the ball game. But the bottom line is, fellas, that the coaching staff would very much like for this team not to be 12 points down like they were against Washington and like they were against Denver. They want to get the fundamentals in the right place. They want to get back to the basics, play better basketball so that they don't have to scramble and come back and win like that.
Those are 2 sub-500 teams. The rest of the homestand, with the exception of Utah Sunday, it's definitely not the case. So they know they've got to play more consistently and better at a higher level and sustain that if they're going to have success. And they believe they can really establish their home court as one of the best in the NBA, as they did last season.
Yeah, it's an important stretch because all 6 of these come against Western Conference opponents. Half of them are against division opponents. Well, one way they have been playing better basketball is when it comes to rebounding. They're out rebounding their opponents by an average of 4 a game. They're 5th in the league right now in their last 10. So what have you seen, Matt, as far as how they've improved on this?
Big point of emphasis in training camp. It's kind of a unified effort. Serge Ibaka, by the numbers, is the most substantial climber in terms of what's going on. But they have a good rebounding team in terms of the guards double back, and they've got size and athleticism like Reggie Jackson, like Russell Westbrook. So it makes a difference. Cabo Cephalosha is one of the best rebounding shooting guards in the NBA. But the area to me that we're looking at them on the defensive glass here, Brian, that they've really jumped up is on the offensive boards. They had 19 offensive rebounds against Denver and 25 second chance points. That mitigates against some of those fringe areas that are not at the level of consistency they're looking for right now.
Yeah, that's right. And the other thing, to go back to the other end of the floor, Matt, is that it's sometimes not how much but when. For instance, the Thunder out-rebounded Denver 19-10 in the 4th quarter of that game on Monday at Chesapeake Arena. Milwaukee had a dozen offensive rebounds, and that was a big issue last season and the season before, but they only had 2 offensive rebounds in the 4th quarter after the Thunder gave up a dozen through 3 quarters. So, and to your point, getting the guards involved, that was a point of emphasis. And Cephalosha averaging a half dozen boards a game, I think that we're seeing that plan being brought to fruition out on the floor.
Well, it's been a focus of this team from training camp to get better on the boards. It's also made some of these players better offensively, including Serge Ibaka, who has really emerged in his last few games. Here's what Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook had to say about their teammate.
Serge puts it on the deck and throws it down at the rim.
He can score in so many different ways, whether it's shooting, whether we throw the ball to him in the post and he shoots a nice little hook shot, so he don't have to dribble, he don't have to do too many moves, just catch, shoot, catch, dunk.
And the tomahawk finish for Ibaka.
Catch, make one move, and he's at the rim. And offensive rebounding has really been his strong point so far this season.
Just running the floor, rebounding the ball. He's basically doing his job, and he's doing it at a high level.
Serge does a great job of playing off his teammates. He's good at flashing to the basketball, shooting it, ducking in, offensive rebounding. He's one of those players that you don't have to call a play for him to score.
Well, in a stretch of 6 games during the month of November, Serge averaged 18 points, 11 rebounds, and was shooting 64% from the field. What has changed in his game?
Well, I'll address that in a second, but I thought Scott Brooks had the best line when it comes to Serge. Leading into the Denver game, he said, it's like having Dennis Rodman with a jump shot. I mean, the way he was going to get rebounds. And
he can make free throws.
Yeah, exactly. But you love his footwork. It's so much better now than it was. He can go up and under easily. He holds his position with his pivot foot. And as a result of that, he puts defenders that are one-on-one on him at his mercy. And BD, he's added to his mid-range game in a variety of different ways. It's still a work in progress, but he's a dramatically better offensive player.
Something that I think helps Serge is the return of Russell Westbrook, because Russell can attract the attention, collapse a defense in the way that few other people in the game can. So that gives Serge more room to operate down low, backdoor cuts. They're great on the pick and roll together. And the other thing, too, is that Serge is still a young player. You know, the guy's in his 5th season in the NBA. And what I think is really important for him is his confidence. And I see that growing as well.
Yeah, I mean, the coach has talked about, Coach Brooks has said he's putting the ball on the floor better. Kevin Durant says it's his offensive rebound, so he's definitely improved all the way around.
Ahead on Thunder Insider.
In this league, it's 2 or 3 or 4 passes to a shot, and we got to be on point for 24 seconds of defense. So.
It gives opportunities for us to get long rebounds and get transition and do what we do best.